When I read my comments, sometimes it's clear to me that I have not articulated myself very well. I am not suffering from burnout in the slightest. Let me explain. I've given myself a concept, an idea for the season that revolves around this thing, and it doesn't work. So I'm not going to try and power through and stick with that. We're going to adapt and move forward in new directions. And one of those directions is up and out of the cave, which I can do here. I can clearly see there's daylight coming through, and we're actually going to head over in this direction. So last episode I left many of you clever clogs with a clue, and most of you sussed it out. We are going to visit 3 different biomes in the overworld. However, we're only going to visit one location. And that's because I've been scouring the Hermitcraft map looking for the perfect point, which isn't very far from our base. It's off in that direction. That's False's ice farm. And just over here, we have a unique little contraption. And by contraption, I mean trapdoors, water, sea lanterns, and glass. This is all probably very confusing, isn't it? Well, I am kind of going in blind here. I'm using the guidance of the wiki for the biomes that the frogs can grow up in from tadpoles. So we put tadpoles in water, and then depending on what biome, turns them into a different type. And it's a bit quirky to look at because of all the way the water renders here with the glass, but we have 3 sections, right? And we're going to put 3 tadpoles in each of them, and they're going to grow up into 3 different types of frog. And if you're wondering why there's all these glass panes, I'm just going to guess that the frogs are going to be too big to jump out of there. So now it's a waiting game, and while we wait, let me explain what's going on. So here is a website known as Chunkbase, and on this website you can put in the seed and see a map of the overworld. And right now I believe we're at this spot here. I could be mistaken. Look at that, it also shows you where slime chunks are and lots of other things inside the map. But you'll notice down the bottom here that I've got some highlighted biomes, and this is really important. So on the Minecraft wiki page, it lists all of the different biomes for the temperate, the cold, and the warm frog. And you can guess I tried to find a point where there would be one of each biome next to each other. And since temperate was so common, these are the hot and the cold biomes that I've highlighted. And if I found 2 close together, there was usually a temperate one nearby. So where did the contraption go? Oh, yeah, I had to move it over here because, 3D biomes are a thing. So it's been moved down a handful of blocks. So now when I jump around on top of here, I can tell you that down at that level, these 4 are stony peaks. Then over here, we have snowy slopes. Again, when you're down at that level, it's all correct. And over on this side, the Savannah Plateau. And I also want to mention I had a total panic moment when I saw stony peaks over here, but that's bedrock only. And over on Java, it's a temperate biome. So standing over here at the convergence point of our 3 biomes, I'm just doing other stuff on the computer, and then it hits me. I can hear croaking sounds in the background, and look at this. Yeah, they're in a muddle, but we've actually got 3 of each, and something hit me. I wanted to put this as close together as possible to show the whole thing off, and then I realized that having them hatch into frogs, if we're calling it hatching, right next to these trapdoors might have been a bad idea. And as you can see, they actually have jumped into other sides, but I've been looking at them and we got 3 of each, and guess what? They're all doing a dance. They're going around in circles. So not only do we not have to visit 3 different areas on the server, we now can set up a nether portal nearby and easily transport these together. Well, I say easily transport, but you know what I mean. We don't have to make 3 separate trips through the nether, we can get them all from one spot. Maybe this is going to be easy after all. Since I last recorded, I had some time to think about the farm I want to build. It's going to be on the roof of the nether, and then it kind of hits me, I can put a portal up here, right? So this is a very short distance from frog to portal, and as you're about to see, this successfully links up with the roof of the Hermitcraft nether, which makes for a very short trip. And once we're on the roof of the nether, transporting them around is obviously going to be rather easy. And I think it would have been an absolute pain to get the frogs up the top here any other way, because there's just a single hole in the bedrock ceiling as far as I know. Or actually, there must be multiple holes, because this isn't the one that I came through. This is it. This is it right here. I'm just going to take a leap of faith. Oh god, no I'm not. I've activated the wings. Ah, so the tree in the middle is the proper way up. I did not know this. Obviously, bringing frogs like this is just not going to work out. Also, what on earth was that sound? This is Tango's peaceful switch for the nether, right? Yeah, that's one heck of a sound. So we're going to build a frog lamp farm, and we've already made this rather easy so far. We're currently somewhere around this spot, which is nether wastes, and so I think we'll come over here to this side into the basalt deltas and build our farm on the roof of the nether around here. So I've got some torches to show me the way, and here is a trick we used earlier in the season. We can show the border of the 3D biomes, right? So we're in the nether wastes, we go past these green blocks, and then we're in the basalt deltas, and I'm going to build our farm right around here. Now this is where I'm absolutely winging it on this one, but we're going to use some technical tools and add a despawn sphere, and we'll put it a fair few blocks above where we currently are in the world. So when I stand all the way up at those coordinates we just entered, it's outside of here that mobs are going to instantly despawn, but inside of this area where they'll be in our farm. So if we use the free cam just to go below the bedrock and look at how the sphere is down here, you can see that there are only 2 points that might cause a little bit of issue with spawning space, although there isn't actually any spots to spawn in this side and just 1 or 2 over here. It's pretty much the perfect spot for an instant perimeter. So now I've counted out 112 blocks of scaffolding, so I can just zip that up into the sky and we'll build a little platform at the top of all of this. Alright then, so now when we're heading to our farm, we get to where the end of the torches are, we go up into the sky, and there it is, an AFK platform. And so when I'm here, down below we'll have magmas spawning inside of whatever contraption I design, because I haven't actually designed this thing yet. That being said, it's very likely it's going to be based on some of the mechanics I've seen going around for building a farm around the magma spawner. Of course, there is one of these in the Bastion Remnant. But look at how much more work you'd have to do to build a farm around this spawner. You'd have to take on the brutes, remove a lot of blocks, and these places can be pretty hairy. So we're doing this in possibly like one of the easiest ways to do it. And you know what? I could have jumped straight into doing this in survival. The very first thing that I built here worked really well. So as I understood it, if you had a magma cube spawner in the middle of an area like this, what you'd want to do is take some powdered snow and just space them out 1 block apart from one another. And with a little bit of weld edit, you get this layout here. Then I went ahead and put some glass around the outside like so. And if we now move away from the farm, we should get some magmas spawning inside of it. And there we go. And by the way, I'm shivering. It's so cold here in the nether. Jokes aside, when I first created this stone platform and I didn't have any powdered snow in, a ghast actually spawned and then flew off. But with the powdered snow on top, it prevents ghasts from spawning. And what this also does is naturally break down the magma cubes. If you have one of this size, its hitbox is always interacting with one of these snow blocks. So slowly it's freezing, and then eventually it's going to take damage and get broken down into the smaller ones. These jump up and down inside of the powder snow blocks, but they don't take damage from them. And that is the exact same thing that happens with the frogs. So when we get them in the farm, they'll jump up and down from time to time, but they'll never get killed by these powdered snow blocks. They also don't get attacked by the magma cubes. And I'm talking about any size of magma cube. So like with the smaller one there, the big one also occupies the powdered snow block a lot of the time, and therefore it'll start to take damage and get split down into the smallest ones. So the powder snow blocks do all of the hard work, and they don't attack our frogs, and neither do the magma cubes. And this is just incredibly simple. So our only challenge now is to pick up the lamps that get left behind, right? For that, we're obviously going to put some rails below with a hopper minecart that can whiz back and forth and pick up all of the drops. And then we got to unload them, which got me thinking about this contraption that I saw on Ilmango's channel, and I'm not doing a very good job of showing it off. Let's go ahead and chuck some stacks of items onto the track, and then you'll see that they get flushed out the back here. The problem is, no water in the nether. So I've adapted this for a waterless design. It was all pretty simple really, just detect the minecart coming over here, create a T flip-flop at the back to push this rail in and out, because the minecart actually jumps onto that rail even though you can't see it. And so that rail needs to stay there for a moment, as that's where the items get unloaded. And yeah, with a little additional glass around the outside, the items will drop directly downwards, or we can put them into a storage system. So, I'll admit it, we're now going from a simple farm to a complex one, but obviously you could have the hopper minecart just go over some hoppers for storage at the end here, and it would be no big deal, but I kind of want to get technical. We've got the unloader, and now you can see we're also managing moving the items so that they'll be aligned on the edge of these blocks, and they can be picked up by hoppers. So yeah, this bit is especially cool because the items will actually go straight over the pressure plate. This is something I maybe could have done in the storage system we built in the Nether this season already, but that idea came to me a moment ago. It all happens so quick. It all happens so quick. But yeah, there you go. It looks like a couple of items actually got stuck over here. That's rather interesting. Anyways, I will be testing this at length, but it seems like adding 2 extra blocks here might have helped align those so they don't hit the repeater. And look at that, it's fantastic, and all of the items are getting picked up here. And of course, if it wasn't obvious, this is where we're going to build some additional storage. Yeah, I was just thinking about how we could put some glass blocks over here, and erroneously I thought this one would get pushed out, but of course it doesn't attach itself to the slime block. I think I might actually go and just put glass like this, but you could also put redstone on top of the blocks. Don't you love it when things just sort of come into existence out of the fog and they just look crazy and epic? There's probably a lot of things that would do that on Hermitcraft, right? Because you know how we play this game. But now that our farm design is kind of most of the way there, I need some gold for the rails. I reached out to the hermits and Jevin was kind enough to let me pinch some, so I've come over here and what would you know, in these chests, tons of gold. So I ain't gonna be greedy. We only need a certain amount of powered rails, and that should be more than enough to get us there. And this farm, how does it work? Turtle eggs, yeah, I'm not surprised to see that in there, so probably the pigmen are lured to the middle, and they fall down on these hoppers. Oh, and there's a bunch of bedrock missing just right below it. I wonder how this was removed, because there's quite a lot of bedrock blocks there that have gone. Ooh, what's all of this down here? Oh, dang. Oh, dang, something special in this area. Oh, wow, it's like an end city, right? Except it's in the Nether? Yeah, this is super fancy. What a cool idea. And there appears to be something in the middle of it. I'm going to guess this is a bartering farm, right? You chuck these into here, they get dispensed down to the piglins, the items get picked up by the hoppers and probably end up in some chests somewhere. Aha, look at all those bartering goodies. Maybe at some point in the season we'll create a farm of our own. This is what I need to do more of on the server, a little bit of exploration. I had no idea that this existed, and it's seriously cool. Oh, and a night vision potion right now would absolutely rock, but I can use the camera account and just take a moment to appreciate this awesome build. I'm also on the hunt for a few other materials, so let's step through the portal and see what biome's on the other side. Well, this is certainly not the type of terrain that I'm looking for. This is it right here. I've been scouring around these snowy mountains for some time now, looking for the powdered snow. And yes, you've probably sussed out what I'm doing. I'm going around gathering materials that we're going to use to construct our farm in the Nether. And now we can grab tons of powdered snow. We're going to need 49 blocks of this in total. And I'm kind of thinking it might have been a really good idea to have actually brought a lot more shulker boxes and just stock up on as much of this as possible. Now that I think about it, my ender chest is full of empty shulker boxes, right? Yeah. Let's actually try and get as much as we possibly can and bring it all home. Well, dang, don't I look silly now? I've got all these shulker boxes out, and that is actually the total size of the little patch here, so unless there's another one nearby, that's all we're getting. Okay then, you know what this means, right? I've gathered everything we need to build the farm. So, all in all, that took me about 45 minutes to put together, including wrangling the frogs over here. And this could have been even simpler if I hadn't built this behemoth of redstone over here. Well, you know, it's a complex tangle of ideas, and all we got left to do now is sort out the item filters, and I don't have any frog lamps yet, and then we'll be AFKing up top. So we'll start all the way up there and see how we do. And as soon as I reach the AFK platform, we have magma cubes spawning. That's wonderful. And the frog lights, but I forgot to put down a hopper minecart to pick them up. And in doing that, I plunged out of the sky and just managed to activate my elytra at the very last second, falling into the powdered snow block, and then I rocketed out of there. And anyways, here is a 16-minute time lapse, I think. I'll obviously condense it all the way down, and you can see that the farm is running absolutely fine. You can maybe go as far as to say that this thing is suboptimal. I mean, it depends what you want from it. It's clear that you could increase the amount of frogs inside of here, just looking at how many magmas there are around. And there's always lamps on the ground, so you could probably increase the amount of minecarts picking up items. This thing also produces magma creams. I was going to add a little something at the end to burn some items, but I just threw down some hoppers so we can pick these up. And this thing's been running a couple of hours now, and what's interesting is the distribution of the amount of these frog lights. So if we go to the next 4 over here, yeah, you can see that the verdant one is behind the others, which have collected a lot more. And apparently magma creams can get in here too. That's rather confusing. Yeah, looks like something broke the filters at the back here. I'm not really sure what would do that. Anyways, if this farm were to become more efficient, then more items would come out of it, and you'd probably have to handle the items going across the filters a little different, because they can only take like 20 odd items at a time. For now though, I'd say that this is a rather complete project. Look at that. Quite a lot of frog lamps there. We're going to pack all of this away, and then I will go AFK. But first, there is something else that I need to tend to, because I know that some of y'all have a very keen memory. In the last episode, we got our hands on... Wait a minute. These are the wrong ones! How did you get out of the farm? That explains why we've got less of one type of these. I guess I gotta fix this. And I guess it's kind of convenient when I'm down at this level, we don't really get any spawns, so I'll be safe to drag this guy in the farm. Maybe they can jump higher than the glass here. Alright, so with a little bit of encouragement, you're back inside. Terrific. And doing a quick head count, which is kind of tricky when they jump around, we actually are down another green frog, and sometimes they do this thing where they sort of stay inside the block for a second. I don't know if it, like, died in the farm, or if it's nearby, but fortunately for us, it's going to be easy to breed and get another one, right? But I'm going to take care of that in another episode. I accidentally put this into there. That's supposed to be for empty shulker boxes. And yes, many of you pointed out that, you know, I've taken these before I've actually done the task at hand. I'm not going to spend them, okay? It's all good. But yes, we got to build a shop that's totally free. So I've got materials that are good for the giving away, and I want to give back to the Hermitcraft community, but we're not going to do that entirely for free, right? Yes, this glorious build over here is known as the Ark of the Champions. Goodness me, what a beautiful build this is. I might have to take some inspiration from here. But anyway, I'm really fond of these crystals that Ren has for us to do the different quests, and I was scheming an idea on how we could get our hands on more of them. If we give stuff away for free, you know, maybe as an offering for those free things, someone else could give us some of these shards. But the thing is, now there is a competition for this, right? The Ark of Champions. So the idea is that you add your completed quest crystals to your pedestal and become the ultimate champion. And as you can see, you get points for the different types of crystals that you complete. But I need my head for this, so I'm going to have to find another hermit to dismember me. Oh, goodness me. So yes, goals for the next episode. Somewhere around here, I need to build a shop that gives away free items So if I want to get my hands on some of these shards, then I should be doing these daily quests, right? And this one right here, okay, I think it's a little bit flawed. Buy something from any shop. Now, I'm going to just take my diamond reward, and let's go perusing around one of Hermitcraft's many shops. I've just spotted something brand new over here, some rockets. So check it out. All I have to do is spend 1 diamond here for my reward. Okay? Where do the diamonds go? I think this thing auto refills. Aha, they go in here. So, do you see the flaw? This is why we should participate every single day. Now, some of you will say that this is massively cheaty, and you might just be right. I'm gonna check in with Rendog and see what he thinks. But yes, we have a new objective now, to get our hands on lots and lots of shards. And on that note, I think it's a perfect time to wrap up this episode, so if you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like. Thank you as always, and I'll see you soon with another one. Bye bye!